Minkah Fitzpatrick already a Jet, and we're an hour officially away from the legal tampering period. The Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital with breaking news starts now.
Let's go! It's time for the talk to you. 'Cause when it comes to sport, it's always coming to. And Boy Green is always on the scene. And we're gonna always bring to you live streaming. So get ready, get ready, 'cause here they come.
All right, welcome aboard, everybody. Happy Monday, and a special Monday. It is the NFL getting busy. Busy. The legal tampering period, as you heard me say there in the opening tease, just an hour away officially, but teams already getting busy. I don't even understand the premise of putting guardrails on this thing and timelines, because nobody listens. Everybody just gets busy and does crazy things, and it is starting already. I'll be like Adam Schefter today, Boy Green. I'll be like over here on my phone, like, oh, excuse me. Yes, I have something here. But I've got Schefter over here. I've got Renan over here, so we can watch the entire NFL. We can watch the Giants specifically. I know you're all plugged into your Jets guys. Yes. And the Jets already, as you heard me say in the open, a big move, getting Minkah Fitzpatrick to be kind of a bit way there in the back of that, third level of that Jets defense. I personally still think the guy has some stuff left in the tank. Give me your thoughts on Minkah.
Well, first off, I don't know what the over-under is of us playing this clip today, but...
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Yeah, I mean, first off, for it to be an intra-division trade, when you have a Dolphins and Jets team who hate each other's guts, and again, it's all new regimes, right? The head coach and GM of Miami are all brand new. The Jets are relatively new. They're only 15 months old or so, a little bit less than that. So that part of it is very unique. You don't see trades like this happen that often. But to me, Minkah Fitzpatrick, he's 29 years old. He's a 3-time former first-team All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler. He is a massive upgrade. I can't state how much of an upgrade this is over the Jet safety room, and it hurts me as a Syracuse guy. Andre Cisco, he was terrible last year. Tony Adams, terrible. Isaiah Oliver, terrible. So they needed a big safety, and there had been a lot of rumors over the last 48 hours, Lurch, that the Jets are looking at the top of the safety market in free agency. There's a lot of big names, Brian Cook, Kevin Byard, Kobe Bryant. There's a ton of names that are out there in the open market. But the Jets say, you know what? For a 7th-round pick, which is what the Jets gave up, they gave up a 7th-round pick in this year's draft. That's it. A bag of beans to get Minkah. And they immediately signed Minkah to a brand-new contract. So he's under contract on a new 3-year deal for $40 million. For those grabbing the calculators in the back of the room, that's $13.33 million per season. He is now the 13th highest paid safety in the National Football League at time of business right now, with a lot of new deals set to come. So that market's about to be reset in a lot of different ways. To me, I think he's a massive upgrade for the Jets. He's a proven name. He's a veteran leader. Jets are looking to fill a leadership void this offseason with Minkah coming in. And quite frankly, the one potential bugaboo that you're like, which would explain why the Dolphins are probably trading him in the first place, besides the fact they're in cap hell, with other Dolphins breaking news earlier today. Another reason why they are is over the last 3 seasons, Lurch, he has 2 total picks. Now, throughout his career, he's been a prolific turnover machine. He has 21 career picks, 60 pass deflections, 6 forced fumbles, 7 fumble recoveries. Like, he makes plays all the time. But over the last 3 years, he hasn't made as many plays, which I think is part of the reason Miami's moving on. But if you're the Jets, well, 2 interceptions, that's 2 more than we had last year. Upgrade. So I absolutely love it. And, man, what a great first splash for the Jets.
All right, here are quickly, we'll get into all these individually, but here are quickly some things that I just highlighted that have already gone on this morning. The Jets trade for Minkah, we just mentioned that. Dolphins have officially released Tua Tagovailoa, so now teams can, look at him, although they had a little specialty on that one where the official release, whatever you want to call it, won't happen until June 1st, which allows them to split the 2 years. But still, they are taking a massive, massive cap hit against Tua, or the Dolphins are going to have to eat that money big time. Ooh.
Yeah, let me just explain that just a little bit. So
It's 99 total, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The dead cap hit is now the largest in NFL history. So way to make NFL history, Miami. Yeah. So he will be officially released on Wednesday. Like he will be cut. He will be officially released. But NFL teams are allowed of 2 post-June 1 designations. So it's a designation. It's not like he has to wait till June 2nd to sign with the team. It just means that they can split $99 million of dead cap in across 2 years to make it slightly more palatable for them. And interestingly, Lord, just because you said that, because the Dolphins officially announced his parting of ways today, he is allowed to talk to teams today because they announced it, even though he's not officially gone. So that gives him a bonus 48 hours or something to start talking to teams, which he could come to an agreement with a new team before the end of this, just to add that level to it.
The Cowboys are obviously very anxious to rebuild their defense after they jettisoned off their star linebacker, Micah Parsons, last season in that trade. So one of the things that they did very quickly this morning is they made a trade. They traded out a 4th rounder in next year's draft, 2027 draft, for Rashawn Gary, one of the edge rushers from the Green Bay Packers, who has shown some promise. Still a relatively young guy, so we'll see where that all goes. And then just a couple on the other locals on the Giants front. Not a lot of action at this point yet on the Giants, but here's a couple of things that Jordan Renan has put out about the Giants, which he's one of the most credible sources around the Giants. Is obviously one of their beat guys. Number one, he said that they're extremely interested in trying to keep Jermaine Illuminor, the offensive right tackle. So we'll see where that goes. There are going to be other people throwing money at Illuminor. So can the Giants get a deal done before he goes out, or is his agent going to let him go out at noon today, see who's throwing things on the table, and then see if the Giants want to counter and keep him on the team? Isaiah Likely is of high interest, apparently, to the Giants, although, again, he also has some other potential suitors. Cordell Flott, Renan put out, is probably going to cost somewhere in the neighborhood of about $12 million. He thinks that someone's going to offer him in that range per year. I don't know if the Giants are going to be in on that at that point, but still no word on Cordell Flott, the slot corner. And Micah McFadden is still out there for the Giants as well, coming off that injury. But there are apparently some other teams interested in McFadden. So it looks like he may make it across the finish line at noon today and then see what's out there before he either renegotiates with the Giants or ends up going somewhere else. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills, wow, they in a bit of a pickle after that DJ Moore trade, which we didn't have a chance to talk about on any of our live shows. They will be right now, they're projected to be $13 million over the cap. So they have to make some maneuvers here with some contract negotiations and some releases in order to just get below the cap, period. And they are going to take a $24.5 million hit against the cap this season, unless later, and they won't be able to do this till later on, they could renegotiate DJ Moore and lower that number a little bit. But for the time being, and they can't do that for like another month or so. So for the time being, it's a $24.5 million hit against the cap to have the receiver in place. And the Bills, I don't know. I mean, if DJ Moore is the only move they're making at receiver, I kind of scratch my head and say, really? This is the big move? This is the solve the problem, the Keon Coleman problem is DJ Moore, and we move on? Like, wow, they better get busier, man. They better get another really good receiver in this receiving core, or I'm going to lose a lot of respect for Brandon Beane and his supposed unbelievable prowess of making deals. After all, they kept him because Sean McDermott was the problem, right? So if he doesn't come through in this free agent season, this off season for the Bills, man, to me, they made a trash decision, in my opinion.
Yeah. DJ Moore is a player I like.
He's
DJ
a good
Moore.
player. He's a
talented player, but he's on the downspin the last 2 years. He's had sub 1,000 receiving yards, and he's appeared in all 17 games. So it's not an injury related reason. He's been available. He just hasn't been putting up the prerequisite numbers. Bills giving up a second round pick felt rich to me. And then additionally, his contract sort of set up where it was like a 2-year deal for $50 million. And then as part of this trade, Buffalo guaranteed $15 million of his salary 3 years from now. So now they're pot committed to him to his 31-32 season. That, to me, and the second round pick felt like overkill. So, yeah, I think Buffalo has plenty of more work to do at wide receiver.
And then one other, there are a bunch of other smaller transactions, but one other transaction of note: the Steelers are sticking with Asante Samuel, so they extended him out and they made a deal with him. Those are kind of the big ones. Some others are going to pop up. Like I said, we are tracking everything that Adam Schefter and other insiders are doing. I'm keeping a close eye on Jordan Renan, who specializes in the Giants. So if there are breaking things throughout the show today, which especially once we get to noon, there probably are going to be, we will absolutely positively keep you informed. But at the moment, those are some of the key things. Another thing that Renan said, Boy Green, that is a great discussion for me and you, is that the Giants apparently are extremely interested in Elijah Vera Tucker, AVT. Give me your thoughts on that. I know you Jet guys, you want to keep him. The Giants could use a guy like that if they're willing to roll the dice on a guy that has that injury history. I think the thing that you have to love about Tucker, no matter what, is that he is a multiple position guy. And that is just such a good thing to have on the offensive line when guys go down, particularly in a pinch and in a spot in a big game, that you have a guy that can just slide right over and play another position, and then you can bring in a backup at a different spot. So give me your take at this point on AVT. All the injuries, how badly do you want to keep them? And, what's the going rate for an AVT? What would you pay? I mean, the Jets have a lot of money to spend. What would you pay to keep AVT in the fold, and how many years of a deal is this going to demand? Because the risk is high with this injury history. So give me your thoughts on all that.
Yeah, Elijah Vera Tucker is 26 years of age. He has played four. Man. Yeah, he's very young. Yeah, he's coming off his rookie contract. He has played 4 of the 5 offensive line positions. He has had snaps at left tackle, left guard, right tackle. The only one he hasn't played is center, and Robert Saleh joked, if we need it, I think he could do that too. And he said that a couple of years ago when, of course, he was still the head coach of the New York Jets. This is a guy who has had serious injury issues, unfortunately. In his 5 years in the league, Lurch, 3 of the 5, he has had a season-ending injury. He has torn his triceps on one side. He has torn his other triceps. He has torn his Achilles. Now, the triceps ones are weird, sort of fluky injuries. So, for a recovery timestamp, sort of timeline, you feel pretty good about that those are fluky injuries, but still injuries are injuries. So across his 5 years, he's appeared in 43 of the 85 games. So he's missed a ton of time. But apparently, your Giants, the Raiders, I've heard, are another team that's in the mix, is that they are not scared off. And I thought, and I said this a couple weeks ago, a lot of people assume that AVT's market would be the same from everyone, a 1-year prove-it deal. He's injured all the time. He's going to have to prove himself. But I don't think that's the case. I think someone's going to be willing to pay him buco bucks. I was reading Albert Breer last night, and he believes that AVT could be in the 15+ million per year range on a multi-year deal. So he could get very nice money. The Giants have money. The Raiders have money. And I imagine it's going to be a quasi-bidding war for him. And unfortunately, those are waters that the Jets will no longer swim in. So I believe he is gone. I believe we'll either find that out in the next 45 minutes or literally at noon that he is moving on. It's sad. He's a super talented player. He seems like an A+ person. He checks off all of those things. There's no character concerns or anything like that. But if I'm the Jets, if you truly love someone, you let them go. I think he's walking out the door and signing with another team. I just don't think the Jets can risk it. You can't sign him to a big deal and then he immediately gets hurt again. And then you're looking at yourself like, damn it, we saw all the signs, all the red flags were there not to do it. But I don't blame the Raiders. I don't blame the Giants. Free agency inherently is risky. All of these guys have awards. That's why they're free agents. So if I'm the Giants, and I've had all kinds of offensive line issues, I risk it to get the biscuit. I hope that he moves across town and he's a lot healthier. And if he's healthy, he has all pro potential. So I think he's going to get a big money deal. I think it's going to be 15+ million per year. I think it's going to be a multi-year deal. My prediction is he ends up with the Giants or Raiders. One of those two, flip a coin, see what happens. And that's where he goes. But again, Giant fans should be happy with the person, the youth, and all of the versatility that he could play any position. I'll be curious where they plug him. I would assume guard. But yeah, or maybe right tackle if you move on from Jermaine Illuminor. He can play tackle as well. Awesome. Did a little bit of that at college at USC. So super talented guy.
Yeah, the Giants are in a little bit of pinch on that line because, number one, they can't afford for it to go backwards. They need it to, if anything, go forwards or at least hold the line. So if Illuminor goes, now you immediately got to get somebody to replace him. And I do still think, but I don't know, the more I'm reading, the more I'm listening, the less inspired I am that the Giants are going to be seriously in the hunt for Linderbaum because of what it's going to cost them. I find that unfortunate because I think a valuable center at his age, was he 25? I mean,
yes.
He's an multiple all-pro. He's a plug and play. You expect to have him in your lineup for the next 10 years.
He's missed 2 games in 4 years, Lurch.
He's an Iron Man. He just has all the qualities. He's a good run blocker, just a good leader. I remember the days when the Giants didn't have problems on the offensive line, and they were competing for championships, and that line mattered so much. And the center position is a critical part of it. And I just think they took a role in the draft on Schmitz. It has not paid off. This guy is just, he's too small. He's not a dominant blocker. He's just out there kind of holding his own. He's improved a bit over the last few years. I mean, he's still a very young guy also. But it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. And I just don't think it's a great idea to hang there, okay, when you can go get a guy like this guys like this don't come on the market. Good offensive linemen like this without fleas, like AVJ, perfect example. Good offensive lineman, but he's got a ton of fleas. And go look at a bunch of the other guys that are out there. They all have fleas. This guy has no fleas. This guy is like, plug him in, Iron Man. What you tell me? What's the criticism? Can he pass block? Yep, he does that. Can he run block? Yep, he does that one. Does he get hurt? Nope, never gets hurt. Check. I mean, when you get check, and that guy's out there, I spend the buco bucks and I secure a position for the next 10 years, and I don't worry about it. I think he's worth the money, but the Giants have so many issues that I just don't know if they're going to want to spend that much money on a singular player. But look, John Harbaugh knows this guy as good as anyone.
Sure.
So I guess I'm going to, as I've been saying all offseason since the signing of Harbaugh, in Harbaugh we trust. If John Harbaugh really felt like this guy, we have to have him, I think he would basically tell Giants brass, we're spending the money on this guy. We're gonna be at the top of the bidding war here for Tyler Linderbaum. So, and if he's seen this guy play every day and he says he's good and he's really good, but he's not great and he's not that kind of money great, especially for that position, then I guess I'm going to trust him. But it's a juicy guy to have out there. You don't see guys like this, offensive linemen in particular, out there on the market at this age, at this point of their career ever. This is like a total unicorn, rare situation, which is why I think it's worth charging through that wall and going to get the guy.
2 things here. First off, that's why we try to have great insiders on our show. This was put on our radar in February by John Schmelk. When we brought up the Linderbaum thing and said, oh, this sort of seems obvious, right? Harbaugh, Ravens, Giants, pipeline, right. And, Schmelk indicated that the Giants are higher on John Michael Schmitz, and apparently the fans are, and that he didn't know if he was going to see that coming. And I would just say this, Lurch, if I could spend money on any free agent that is available right now, and there are tons of free agents that are available, that I would bet any amount of money on, I bet my career on, I would push all the chips in the middle of the table, it is Tyler Linderbaum. The age, the Pro Bowls, the eliteness of his play, run blocker, pass blocker, available. There are so many warts with free agents, and he has so few warts. And I get it. The money's going to be insane. The highest paid center in football right now is Creed Humphrey at $18 million per year of the Chiefs. And Linderbaum's number probably starts at $22 million per year, $4 million more per year than the market. But come on, man. Be right. Spend the money, catch some flack for resetting the market to that level, and then just be right for a decade that Tyler Linderbaum is your superstar center. Man, I would do, if I'm the Giants, Jets, any of these teams, I would do it. I assume the Raiders, who have the most cap space in the league at $122 million plus in money, and they want to draft Fernando Mendoza. I give Tyler Linderbaum a blank check and say, you could write whatever made up funny number you want to on here, and you're going to be a Raider. That's what I would do. Someone's going to do it, and they're going to be very happy that they did it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So we'll see. But, I'm a little worried that, again, I'm hoping that Harbaugh can stop the Giants' trend of frugality. Okay. The Giants, even in their heyday, they were just kind of a frugal-ish organization. They just weren't really very big spenders. And we've just come off an NFL season where the biggest spender went to the Super Bowl. Okay. The Patriots were the biggest spender in free agency this past year, and they just went to the Super Bowl. So it's not a matter of not spending and being, smart. It's about spending on the right guys. That's where the Patriots deserve credit. The Patriots went out and spent a ton of money, but they also spent the money on the right people. You could go out, spend a ton of money and, throw, logs in the flame, so to speak. But if they're not the right people, it doesn't matter. And then you end up stuck with deals that you have for several years that really, really kill your cap situation and make life difficult for you. But you got to swing at the right guys. This guy's a sure thing. That's what gets me about Linderbaum. It's like some guys you'll wonder about. How are they going to fit in our system? How are they going to work over here? Is the coach and the QB, is that is it going to work? I mean, you're going through it right now with the Jets, trying to figure out who your next quarterback is. Yeah. Even part of the consideration is, okay, there aren't that many great guys out there. And who's fitting with Frank Reich, right? We keep hearing it come up over and over and over again. He likes the tall guys. He likes the pocket passers, but he's also done it with a guy that can move. Let's look at who's out there, we look at all that stuff. And I think with Linderbaum, there's nothing to look at. Like, it's just like, pay him because he's great. He's arguably the best center in football. Like, that guy's on the market. Okay. And he's 25. Yes, sir. Here's my check. Here you go. Well, how much? I'll just tell me. I'll give you the blank. Here you go. Write it out. Write it out what you need. I know, even if he gets stupid money, I mean, it sounds like it could be pushed up. If you get a bidding war for Linderbaum, this thing could get pushed up to $25 million, which is, oh my God, like, to think of spending that much money on a center is kind of crazy.
I would still do it, by the way.
I would still do it because you know why you do it? Because we just talked about this the other day. All right. That in 2 or 3 years from now, it's going to be a bargain. You're going to be like,
100%.
I'm not getting the highest paid guy anymore. Like, oh yeah, now there's a guy making 27, another guy making 28. Like, this is moving so fast. Revenue in the NFL is just, and it's not going like this. It's going like this. All right. It's just skyrocketing. I don't know what the ceiling is, but it is skyrocketing.
Actually, on Linderbaum, I don't know if he gets passed like tomorrow, the next day, whenever. And I'm not saying literally tomorrow. I mean, like, sort of the metaphorical, like, down the road. I don't know. Maybe it's a Dak Prescott thing. He gets 60 and no one has touched 60 cents. But even still, I'm willing to do it. The market is exploding every year. We just got 22 million more this year than we had last year. That 22 million, that sounds right around Tyler Linderbaum's salary. Great. I just fit a Tyler Linderbaum in here. So again, I just think you bring in really good players. And I see Macho in here. It says, I'm willing to go 22, 23. Anything more might be financially irresponsible. It is financially irresponsible.
Yes,
but you know what? Who cares?
Who cares? It's not our money.
You gotta come on. Have you ever made an irresponsible decision? You ever get bad? It feels fun to be bad. Come on. Let's get a little reckless out there.
Be bad for the right reasons. Be bad for the right player. Like, that's the thing with this guy, is that boom, it's just bad for the right reasons. So if I'm going to be irresponsible, I'm being irresponsible for the right guy. Yes.
Just to go back to this real quick, and I see the memberships being gifted. I'll circle back to that in just a second. Thank you guys so much, and we'll promote that here in a second. So on Elijah Vera Tucker, everything I just told you, and I'm sure a lot of it you already knew, the Giants appear to be going in on him. Do you want them to be going in on him? Do you like Elijah Vera Tucker? Are you happy about that or not happy about that?
He's a very intriguing player to me. When he has played for the Jets, I've been like, ooh, I like this guy. I love this. As I said, I love his versatility. He's got the size. He's got all the tools.
Yeah.
With everything that's happened with our line.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, there is a ceiling for Elijah Vera Tucker in terms of what I would pay. So, I mean, if this becomes an out and out bidding war and this number is getting pushed up much higher then I would be comfortable with, I would get out, because I don't know if the risk is worth it. To me, it's a very different situation in Linderbaum, where I'm willing to go to the
course. Yeah.
There's just riskier, but no, I mean, if I think at first blush, if the Giants end up getting AVT, I think I would be genuinely excited, because I just think he's a player with a ton of upside. So that really excites me. At the first time notice that tricep is, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
How much do we still owe him? So what's 100%. The length of the deal? What's the number on the deal?
Yeah.
But boy, you know what this reminds me of a little bit of, though? I'll give you a nice baseball analogy for people that pay attention a little bit to baseball. So a number of years ago, the Mets had waited several seasons on Zach Wheeler. Okay, Zach Wheeler, terrific young pitcher, who came up through the Mets organization, through their farm system, and him and Harvey and they had all these young guns coming up from the minors, and they were going to build this super rotation, and it really looked like it. The Mets had just the best young talent in the minor leagues on its way to the major leagues. All this minor league talent coming into the majors with tons of ceiling. All right, the ceiling just through the roof. And Wheeler comes in and he shows some promise, but then he blows out his arm and he gets, surgery. And then he's pitching pretty well again, getting himself back at it. Boom, he blows out his arm again. So he blows out his arm, I think it was twice for the Mets, including Tommy John surgery, which, as you know, is the most serious, and it takes a full year plus, maybe even arguably a year and a half, almost 2 seasons to come all the way back. And this is all going on while essentially he's on his rookie deal. He's on, you're getting him somewhat on the cheap, by baseball terms. And now the reckoning has come. He's come back fully healthy now off that Tommy John surgery. He's showing some promise, but he hasn't been the dominant guy that you thought he would be. And he wants the 4 or 5 year deal. He wants the long-term deal and the level 2 at best. I think somewhere he didn't necessarily need ace level, but he wanted close to ace level pay. Okay. Yeah. So star player type pay. And the Mets were just like, gosh, all this stuff the Mets invested all of their resources on his rehab. Imagine the training staff, just all the people that you put into this to get this guy back. And yet when push came to shove and they had to make their decision, they couldn't pull the trigger. And the Phillies did. And what did the Phillies get? Everything the Mets wanted and more. Okay. Yeah. The Phillies got everything the Mets believed that Wheeler was. Zach Wheeler was going to be a star, and now he is for the wrong team. And the Phillies have reaped all of the benefits. And the Mets have had to play against him, have had to lose to him, have had to watch it at close range. Yeah. And it's been sickening. It's a sickening feeling. So that has to be the one concern the Jets have, especially if he ends up with the Giants, is AVT now is a Giant, and he finally doesn't have any more injury problems. He's fully recovered. He's healthy. He's this versatile offensive lineman that is helping anchor that line and protecting Jackson Dart, and look out. And the Jets are going, oh, man, why didn't we just hang in there for one more contract? Why didn't we we knew what this guy was when we drafted him. We loved him and we nurtured him and we helped him back to good health. And now we're going to let him go somewhere. It's hard to do that. So,
yeah, it definitely is.
But to me, even as a guy on the outside who hasn't had to, the Mets had all that baggage, you can also almost understand, I can't go through that again. It's just, it's another bad, I can't do it, and the new team gets that's all.
No baggage.
Is he healthy now? Yes. Is he a great player? Yes. Let's plug him in. Yes. And then he plays great for the next 5 years. Yes. And you're like, whoa,
what the hell?
That was freaking easy. What a bargain that was, Yeah. But it's that risk reward thing. I still think as a Giant, while I'd be very excited to have him, I do think there's a limit on how long a contract I'd give him.
Okay.
And how much I'd pay him. But I'm interested. I'm definitely in on it.
Hey, a big shout out here to T-Town Jet, baby, gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. Oh, yes. Membership went to Jet Set Fool 24. You are now a member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Beautiful. And feel free, guys, to be gifting over here as well on the MC Show digital channel. Again, you could be watching it a lot of different places. We have nearly 500 people in the room. Appreciate that. MC Show Digital, my Boy Green YouTube channel, or my Boy Green 25 Twitter account. But folks, hop on over here, youtube.com/@MC Show Digital. Hit the subscribe train. We're on a crazy subscriber run here, getting closer and closer to 1K. So get interactive, hit that money sign if you're watching on YouTube, super chats, super stickers, gifting channel memberships. Let's celebrate as moves happen here and continue to come through. Lord, just isn't a breaking news item, but there is this. AJ Brown apparently has a wish list of teams he would like to go to. Here are the 4.
Do dish.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Here are the 4 teams AJ Brown is interested in being traded to. I'm sure you could guess them. The Buffalo Bills,
of course,
are on the list. The LA Chargers are on the list. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the list. Can you imagine A.J. Brown and Patrick Mahomes? Good Lord. And naturally, the New England Patriots are on the list with the Mike Vrabel connection. That is, to the MMQB. A.J. Brown's trade wish list has been leaked, and that is the 4 places he would like to go to if he's traded from Philadelphia. I felt like it's been a foregone conclusion for a while he's going to be traded, but some capologists have told me that it's not so simple to move him based on his contract and all kinds of extracurricular activities. But we'll keep an eye out for that one. But that one just came out a little bit ago. His wish list has been revealed.
Okay, very, very cool. A couple of pieces of business while we're waiting for some more news to come in. Again, we're only about a half hour away from the noontime open the floodgates thing. We obviously are hearing still a lot of noise on a lot of other deals, including, in case you missed it, the Jets picking up Minkah Fitzpatrick in a trade. They gave up a 7th-round pick, right, to get Fitzpatrick.
This year.
This year's draft. That was actually a pick they got from the Chargers. I was reading earlier today. But the Jets here have landed themselves a nice guy for the back end of their secondary. They immediately signed him to a 3-year extension, and I think that was a very reasonable extension. It makes him the 13th highest paid safety. I think he's better than the 13th best safety in football. I mean, we could make a list someday and figure that out, but I think he is. And I think he's going to add some nice veteran leadership to the back end of that defense. So I think that's a very, very nice move for Darren Muji here, getting busy early with the Jets. And we're not talking about spending a ton of money. So the Jets, obviously, with a ton of cash to keep at this thing, and we'll see how busy they get. One big announcement on the show today, Boy Green. I mentioned it last week, so we'll make it official right now. But indeed, the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital Shop is officially open after some testing. Oh, look at you putting the hat right on. All right, so very, very cool. And the link is right below in the comments section here on YouTube at MC Show Digital. So make sure you're over on our MC Show Digital channel. I know a lot of you watch from different places, Boy Green's channel, over on X/Twitter as well. But definitely you want to come over to our channel, and then that link is right there. And you can check out the items. We have opened the shop, Boy Green, with 6 items in the shop. They are as follows. Okay. I had promised a pint glass, and so we have a beautiful pint glass where you can tailgate and drink your beverages out of it, whether it's lemonade or beer or whatever you like to drink out of a pint glass. I find them to be very, very heavy, very durable. We have 2 different coffee mugs. They're the same coffee mug, just different sizes. One is a 15-ounce, and I have that one right here. So let me come back over to you here for a second. And it's beautiful, man. This one, you could get it in different colors. It's a 2-tone. Cool. So it has the color on the handle and inside the mug. This one, as you can see, is navy blue. One side has the 12th MC, our VIP club, where you can join today. And the other side has our Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital logo on it. So you get a double-sided logo, really, really nice. This is the 15-ounce. So this one's pretty large. So if you like to do a bigger cup of coffee, or you like to put your juice or something in a coffee mug, that's the one. And then we have a regular size coffee mug as well. And they come in a whole bunch of really cool colors. So again, you can go check them out at our shop. Again, in the link below. I came up with, I wanted to have a t-shirt when we opened the shop, Boy Green. So I came out with a cool tailgating ringer t-shirt. So it has, you saw me wearing it the other day. I'll wear it maybe on Wednesday. It's in the wash right now. But it's got a giant MC Show Digital with Boy Green logo, that blue logo that I just showed you on the one side of the coffee mug. And then it's even got the little sleeve logo of the 12th Manchild. So you get both logos again on this very cool ringer t-shirt. You can get it in any size, and it comes in 3 different base colors: gray, kind of like an off-white. They call it classic. I think they call it classic. All right. And then a regular white t-shirt. So you can get in any of those 3 colors. You see Boy Green is sporting the hat, the 12th MC hat. That is also available in various colors, but that logo really pops, Boy Green. I love that hat. And for all of you golfers, since we are rolling.
Here it is, by the way, real quick, Lurch. The shirt's on the screen for people that are looking at it. Yes.
Very, very cool, So that's the so you get the little rings around the edges. And by the way, in several versions of the shirt, you can get different colored rings. So that one I think we're looking at is black. I'm a little colorblind. Is that black?
Yeah, that is black. Right. Yes.
So that's like the off-white with the black, but you can get it with mine is off-white with navy blue. You can get green around the
forest
edges.
Green, midnight navy, gray, heather gray.
Cool.
Nice.
So really, really cool. So you can get it in a bunch of varieties, and obviously it's available in all sizes. So go check it out in the shop. And then is that all the items? What's the last item?
The polo, right?
And then you've got the golf polo, right? I wanted to have a golf shirt since we're coming into golf season. In case you don't know much about me, folks, you'll hear me during the season. During we get to Masters time. We're gonna have people on the show talking about the Masters. We at least cover golf around the majors. And personally, I'm a golfer. I love the sport of golf. I took it up when I moved here to Central New York when I was in my late 20s, and I really enjoy golf and get out a lot during the summer. So you can get the cool golf shirt, and that also comes in a whole variety of colors. All except for the pint glass. I haven't ordered the pint glass myself yet, but all of the other items outside of the pint glass I have personally already tested and looked at, and they're really awesome. So I'm really, really happy with the manufacturer we're working with, and our storefront is Etsy. As you see it right there, it's etsy.com/shop/MC Show Digital Shop. That's the link. And again, you don't need to memorize it. It's right below in the comments, and we'll be dropping that in all our videos to make it really easy. So let's see if we can get our first sale. Who will be the first person to buy an item from the MC Show Digital Shop other than me and you?
Yeah, right. You have 2 customers already, which is a great start. But yes, in every few, it's currently in my Boy Green YouTube description is the MC Show Digital YouTube description. If you go to the MC Show Digital main page, you go to YouTube and search for Manchild Show Boy Green Digital. You see our main page here. Go to our About section. There is a direct link to our merch shop there. And so it'll be in every link of every video we continue to do moving forward. So it should be super easy for you guys to jump on the train.
Mad Mertz, I love this one. He says, if we have another crap here, my MC Show pint glass will become my MC Show shot glass.
That's well said.
Yeah, that'll get you. Yeah. That'll get you going. Woo, that'll rile you up,
Yeah.
Put some hair on the chest, that kind of deal.
True.
By the way, today we are presented by our friends at Northeast Roofing Professionals, and our video is brought to you by our friends at Sharkies. So we'll do this. Let me just take us out for a quick break, Boy Green. We'll hear from our sponsors real quick, and then we'll come back. We are closing in on the noontime timeline. Do you got something, Boy Green? Is something happening?
I do. Go ahead, play your little break, and then we'll come back.
All right, we come back. Breaking news. Okay, when we return. All right, we will do that. All right, we'll be right back. Stick around.
If you plan on throwing a party, whether it's a wedding, clam bake, birthday party, graduation party, a party, company picnic, oh, and did I mention clam bake? Sharkies is your party headquarters with 3 indoor options and a plethora of outdoor options as well. All in a park-like setting with a big stage and over 7,000 square feet of covered pavilion. So rain or shine, we've got you covered. Book your next party now. Go to SharkiesBanquets.com. Sharkies in Liverpool, making parties historic every single year.
Finding the right local roofing company can be tricky. You don't want to hire the wrong roofers, or you could end up spending a fortune on repairs. The pros at Northeast Roofing Professionals can ensure your home is protected by a strong and sturdy roof. Locally owned and operated, over 30 years experience, free estimates, and competitively priced. Don't settle for an inexperienced roofing contractor. Turn to Northeast Roofing Professionals. Discounts for military and first responders. Reach out and let them put a sturdy roof over your head. NERPCNY.com. NERPCNY.com.
All right, I want to just take a moment to thank all of our sponsors. You see them always flashing up there, up in the upper right of our video. Sharkies, you see Creative Florists from the Allen Floral Group, and in the center, our presenting sponsor there, Northeast Roofing Professionals. All these folks, local folks here in Central New York who support our product and support our show, and we can't even tell them how grateful we are for their support. That's what helps, obviously, keep us on the air. You can support our show as well. You can shop now in the MC Show Digital Shop, or you can become a member below if you're already a subscriber to the channel. The next level is to sign up for a membership where you can get some very, very cool perks. We are continuing to try to upgrade our perks even more and give you more and more reason to become a member and make it worth your while. So go check out our membership levels. And again, we have that scrolling ticker. The scrolling ticker below us, which you can get all the information right there. And it's obviously all on our YouTube channel, at MC Show Digital. All right, BG, what do you got?
Yeah, first off, real quick, if you ever hear our ticker ticking, that is a sign to run. I don't want any explosions happening down there, so let's avoid that if possible. Also, Lutch, I just want to give you a quick tip of the cap. You're an attention to detail, man, aren't you? Are you not?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Well, free agency splash, Sharkies, the shark splash, nicely done today. If you look at our YouTube thumbnail, the old Minkah Fitzpatrick, water, splash, shark,
Ooh, nice.
picking that as a sponsor. You did a very nice job there. So I can
Oh,
only assume that was on purpose. So wonderful job there. But no, here, speaking of splashes, let's keep it on theme. So you mentioned earlier that Tua, the Dolphins are eating the largest dead cap hit in NFL history with a $99 million hit.
Mhm.
And again, I mentioned that he will be officially released on Wednesday, but because the Dolphins made an official announcement, there's a loophole in the rules that he can immediately start talking with other teams. Well, developing story here, Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network writes in this caption, "Lefties unite. The Atlanta Falcons are making a strong early push to sign former Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa," sources told the insiders. With Michael Penix recovering from a torn ACL, Atlanta is making a move for an economic contingency plan and competition at the position. Of course, both are left-handed quarterbacks, a rare breed. Look, you're a left-hander too, right?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. I thought you just have maybe an affinity for left-handed people.
Yes, I have an affinity for left-handed people. I
see.
wish I were left-handed, but I am not
okay.
left-handed. And you know what? This move makes a lot of sense, Boy Green. It really
If
does.
it happens, yeah, right.
You think about all of the possibilities for Atlanta and the situation they're in. They've made it clear Kirk Cousins is being jettisoned off, so he's open for business.
Yeah.
All right. They know this injury history with Penix.
Sure.
And now you get kind of a similar ilk guy. So, like, to me, there isn't a lot of value on Tua at the moment in the market. So he's going to be a cheap option. He's getting paid all this money by Miami. All this money in the next 2 years is all guaranteed. So it's like the Russell Wilson thing. You're just getting him on a bargain basement and you can try it out.
$1.3 million. Yeah.
He's younger than Wilson. And at times, not as you mentioned, I think we were talking about it the other day, 2 years ago, he was a leading passer in the NFL. I mean, it's not that far removed. Now, he's not the guy that we all thought he was going to be coming out of college. I personally wouldn't touch him with a 10 football. But if you look at Atlanta's needs and where Atlanta is right now with their quarterback room, this move actually makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do down there. I don't know if he's going to show the promise, but he's definitely a really cheap insurance policy for the guy that you hope is going to become your franchise quarterback in case he breaks down again. It's not the worst thing in the world for Atlanta to go this route. I think it's actually a pretty good move for them if they go this route.
Yeah, I'll have to react to that in a second because breaking news just continues to pour in.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I mean, I don't know how many times we can play that because that's just going to be on a loop the entire show with how much breaking news.
Love it.
Travis Kelce is returning to the Kansas City Chiefs for a 14th season.
Hey.
They're locking it in. There are some people that said, "Ooh, maybe he will shake free," but he was not going to explore the market. It was Chiefs or bust, and he is returning. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport on that one. I have some Giants nuggets. I'll share that in a second. But I'll go to your Falcons thing real quick. The only thing with Tua is I'm curious what they're telling him. They are pursuing him. It's not official, but like if I'm Tua, I want to go somewhere where I'm the starter. And I think Tua could with all the quarterback scarcity, could go somewhere to just start. And he will start because Michael Penix is hurt. But they invest a top 10 pick into Michael Penix. Would they give up on him that early and just let Tua be the new guy? Right. I'm sure he would love it playing in a dome, playing with those Atlanta Falcons weapons. Kevin Stefanski's an offensive guy. There's a lot to like there, but that to me is of intrigue. And by the way, Lurch, this has been widely reported. The Jets have been doing homework on Tua. So I apparently it's been Jets and Falcons looking at Tua. I don't know how to feel about that at all. So Atlanta, feel free to take him if you will. Let me work in your Giants nuggets in here, Lurch. This is from NFL insider Connor Hughes of SNY, covers both the Jets and Giants. The Giants are shopping the market for inside linebackers, and he would expect them to sign at least one, possibly two. Here are the names to watch. Alex Anzalone, Detroit Lions linebacker. Jets are interested in him. Leo Chenal, Kansas City Chiefs linebacker. We've talked about him a little bit. Tremaine Edmonds, who got cut by the Chicago Bears, former Buffalo Bill, and another former Jet. Apparently, you guys just can't stop pursuing him. Quincy Williams is someone the New York Giants are now looking at, who is the older brother of Quinnen.
Yes.
Quincy, a super talented guy. I mean, he is a thumper. Like, fans love that kind of player that's just going to remove someone's soul from their body on a hit. And he has this celebration where he does an uppercut and fans do it. And it's a very, sensational thing. So apparently Quincy Williams has entered the market here for the Giants potentially. So they're looking at linebackers, which makes sense.
What's the circumstances of him leaving the Jets in detail? What's the reason behind that?
Yeah, so, his brother got traded, Quinnen. I think that sort of broke him up a little bit there. Okay. He had some bad run-ins with the coaching staff, and not like a fight or anything, just like it's a schematic change when Steve Wilkes came in to what Robert Saleh used to ask of him, so it was no longer a natural fit. He got benched for a brief period of time and then immediately was inserted back into the starting lineup. So there's just a lot of dysfunction with the Jets last year. So, and he's older, he's 29. So I think the Jets are, depending on the situation, they could add an older linebacker for veteran leadership. But I just think it's both parties are just sort of mutually better to go in different directions. So no, I think Quincy would be fun in Giants land or wherever he ends up going. Quincy, super fun player.
Hall of Fame member Jamie, the FedEx guy, jumping in with Falcons got a whole new crew. They are not the ones that drafted Penix. So that's a good point to make when you bring in a whole new coaching staff. That idea of this is the guy we drafted, this is the guy that's going to be our franchise, that, that softens quite a bit when a new staff comes in and they're not really tied into the guy. So that's a good point, Jamie. Thanks for bringing that up. And we'll see if that results in Tua ending up over there. But the lefty thing, I think, is also another little nugget.
Interesting,
there, right? Because there is a different mentality in terms of how you protect the left-handed quarterback. The way a left-handed quarterback.
The football spins the opposite direction. For people who don't know that,
everything's opposite.
Yeah,
it's really like the right tackle becomes the left tackle.
Right.
And it's really like when the quarterback's rolling left. That's the way, that's the good side where you're moving in a better direction. When the quarterback's rolling right, it's the opposite, right? So you have to know this as an offense, particularly the offensive lineman. You have to understand that. And then if you have a righty and a lefty and you're toggling between those two guys, it's very, very different. And I'm sure that creates some problems for offensive line. So to go lefty, makes a lot of sense. And again, this is just like why Kyler Murray is going to get some interest, okay? Because you're getting this guy on the cheap. He has been a starter in the NFL, okay? In the case of both of those guys, if you want to put them both into the same bucket, they're both ridiculously high draft picks. One guy number 1 overall, okay? And they came into the league with a ton of promise, and they have started. They have experience starting, and they've had, dare I say, some good times as starters. So, it's the old, am I willing to look back in the past and say that potential is there? I have my coaching staff in place right now. We have our organization to help get these guys in the right mental mindset, into the right playbook, and we can do this. A lot of people out there believe that they can put in the necessary changes to bring a player in and actually get the player right. All right. And we have seen success stories in this case. Look at Sam Darnold. Okay. He was in a successful system. He got into a successful system in San Francisco and then extended that in Minnesota, and now has taken it to another level with Seattle, and has a Super Bowl ring. It can happen. So it's not such an unbelievable thing for coaching staffs to believe, for front offices to believe that we could remake a guy and get it right.
I agree. And we'll keep an eye on this. There's more reporting from NFL Network that they are pushing to sign him. So again, it's not official. It can't be official until Wednesday anyway, but there's a lot of aggression that the Falcons are pursuing him heavily, and that a deal could come together quickly. So, wow, it sounds like to Atlanta could have a lot of steam, would make a lot of sense. A couple of lefties in there. Again, that is for Jet fans that are watching this right now. We have 600 people nearly in the room right now, so the numbers continue to jump. That is a player the Jets were doing homework on. Doesn't mean they were going to sign him, but interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, some more speculation. These are not no signings here. But again, ESPN putting out some intel on a couple of things. Alec Pierce, we've been hearing obviously a lot about him and whether or not there's any chance that the Colts could hold on to him. They're obviously frantically 12 minutes away now from noontime trying to get him locked down before he heads off into free agency and people start throwing money at his feet. A lot of rumors out there that the New England Patriots are highly, highly interested in him, pairing him up with Drake May, making something happen happen there in New England. Kenneth Walker, you were talking a little bit about him as potentially a Giant, and that the Giants have a high level of interest in him. Another team that is really, really chomping at the bit with Kenneth Walker right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are chomping at the bit with Kenneth Walker. Would they make a move there and then not have to expend that 9th pick on, say, Jeremiah Love? I don't think he's going to be there, or another running back at some point early in the draft, because they need to fix that running game. Walker could be an immediate fix for them, so there's a high level of interest there. And they're telling us to keep an eye out for linebacker Quay Walker, to join up with his old linebacker coach, Anthony Campanelli, who is now the defensive coordinator with Jacksonville. So could he end up there? He would be the Devin Lloyd replacement there. So obviously they have a hole there. He could plug and play right into that spot. So there's some rumors from the folks at ESPN who are following this very, very closely as we approach 10 minutes now to noontime. Wow. Fun stuff.
Man, it's just, I imagine when noon hits, we're going to get a flurry of even more activity. Some of the quarterback decisions may be delayed, again, Tua, so we're getting sort of that rumor update, but Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, I'm probably missing another one of these veteran minimum will be released officially on the new league year. So we'll get some of those delayed for Wednesday. So for people, is anything going to be left on Wednesday? Some of those quarterback things could be delayed. So we'll keep an eye out for that potentially to shake. Wow, man, so much is happening, Lord. So much.
I have some friends out in the Minneapolis area, and there's been a lot of noise about Kyler Murray.
I've heard
coming
that.
out
Yes.
of the Vikings. A lot of noise, which I guess makes sense. I'm not sure.
Definitely.
I don't know. I thought they were going to go back in that, in that Kirk Cousins pot, perhaps, but it doesn't sound like they are at all. As a matter of fact, that's completely quieted down. So now where is Cousins going? Does that bring him back into play for the Jets, man? I think he's the one that makes the most sense to me of all of these ugly ducklings for the Jets. But a week ago it sounded like forget about it. He's not even interested in the Jets. He's going back to Minnesota. Yeah, the rumors out of Minnesota aren't Kirk Cousins. More of the rumors out of Minnesota these days are Kyler Murray and that they could rebuild him. So wow, holy bro.
It doesn't surprise me from the standpoint that again they're an attractive place. They could get any quarterback they want. Justin Jefferson playing in a dome, Kevin O'Connell. There's a lot of intrigue, and I would understand for Kyler. His competition is J.J. McCarthy, who bluntly stinks. And this can be if I'm Kyler and I'm going to go anywhere for the same price, $1.3 million veteran minimum, and I could pick anywhere to go. Why wouldn't I go to Minnesota? Look what they just did for Sam Darnold. I could go there, put up crazy numbers, maybe win a playoff game or two, and then go get paid by the Vikings or somebody else. Makes a lot of sense if I'm Kyler Murray. So I truly believe those rumors, but we'll see how they operate. Look at this. We got a super chat coming in from Mad Mertz.
Thanks,
Thank you for the $5 super chat, Mad Mertz. He says, if you get Walker, your lineman better know how to hold the block. He's the king of waiting for the hole to open. He's talking about Kenneth Walker, the third.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, coming in here. Yeah, I don't think Kenneth Walker's returning to Seattle. I've heard the Giants. I've heard Washington is very much in on Kenneth Walker. I've definitely heard that one. The Chiefs have been mentioned as a couple of varying finalists. He's a talented guy. He's 25. He has a ton of durability concerns. He's had a lot of injuries at the NFL level. But, hey, man, sometimes you can we talk about this all the time, Lurch, used to in the radio world. March Madness. Malachi Richardson, capitalizing on a hot run in the tournament. And, I'll go to the draft. Kenneth Walker won the Super Bowl MVP. He was terrific in the playoffs. Capitalize on the momentum and go get paid by somebody in free agency here. So it would make a lot of sense. But he is super talented. He's probably the best back that's out there now that Breece Hall's off the board. And you probably have Travis Etienne in there. He's a little bit older. But, super, super talented. Man. What do you want him on the Giants, Lurch?
Here's the thing. To be honest with you, the answer to me is no. And the reason I don't want him is because he's not very good out of the backfield catching the ball. And if I'm signing a number one and essentially replacing what we gave up a couple of years ago with Saquon Barkley. I want a guy that can do it all. I want a guy that's, that's the versatile, can catch it in the flat, really make things happen, can run a route if you need him to, but also can blast open holes. And then you throw in, the injury situation with him and the fact that he's a little iffy sometimes. I just don't know. I mean, the word on the street has that Harbaugh's high on him and that, the Giants are going to make perhaps a run at him here. I don't know. To me, I don't see great fit here. I won't cry me a river if they end up with him. He's definitely an upgrade from anything that we have, but I don't like his lack of versatility, and I do worry a little bit about his durability. So I have 2 questions about him, but I'll say it to you. I've said it to you once. I'll say it to you 1,000 times. The running back is the most economical thing out there these days, period. Even the top guys, to me, are economical considering the impact they have on your offense. Christian McCaffrey is a deal for the 49ers. Yeah. And the guys take their whole offense, and they pay him like half of what they're paying some other guys. It makes no sense to me at all. So the running back is the most economical position, even if you go to near the top of it. And it doesn't sound like you're going to have to go to the very top of that chart to bring in Kenneth Walker. So I guess for the money, it's reasonable. But you asked me the blunt question, do you want him? And I say, no, I think we could go a different direction. I think we could do something else here.
Yeah, he's not as patient as Le'Veon Bell, but I hear what you're saying, Mad Mertz, about once a hole opens and having that sort of explosiveness to go to the house. More breaking news here, Lurch. Okay, your old buddy, Daniel Jones. So a couple of layers here before I reveal this news. Reportedly, the Colts, before the tag situation, offered him the Sam Darnold deal last year, which is around 3 years at $100 million. And Daniel Jones said no, like pound sand. That's not enough. And now, apparently, they're much closer to a deal. There was a report earlier today that he wanted $50 million per year on his new deal. Well, here's this from Stephen Holder, who covers the Colts for ESPN. We're approaching noon, which is the start of the NFL free agent negotiations. See, that's the term they want us to call it now. But you told us it was the legal temporary period, so I refuse to change. Nice try, NFL.
The negotiating period, that's really what it is.
Yeah. He says, what I can tell you is there will be a deal done with Daniel Jones, I'm assuming with the Colts. They weren't close last week when they tagged him, but they're closer now. Alec Pierce continues to be in the demand. That one's 50-50. So unbelievable. Oh, wow. More breaking news. Good Lord have mercy. Thank God I'm on this tracker. So,
popping in with some news, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the San Francisco 49ers are now said to be open to trading Pro Bowl left tackle Trent Williams if the situation doesn't get resolved. A resolution hasn't been easy. Williams is frustrated with the process. He's due $32 million in salary with a $38 million cap number. I don't know who's rushing to pay that price, but we'll keep an eye out for it. 49ers now open to trading Trent Williams. Daniel Jones, it sounds like we'll get a deal done with the Colts. The Colts will try to immediately parlay that to Alec Pierce. Look, we've got Daniel Jones. Please come back. And I'm not sure if he will. So, wow, breaking.
Yeah, it looks like Pierce is going to get some primo money on the market. Good for him. I mean, awesome. He's a decent receiver. And I know he can stretch the field, and a lot of teams want that. But, it's not like he's been a top line guy.
Definitely not. No.
It's average yards per catch. That's the exciting stat.
Yeah, 21 plus yards per reception.
He's among the league leaders. But when you get into actual catches, volume,
hasn't been there.
That hasn't been there. So, but he looks like he's going to get like top dollar. Like it looks like he's going to get paid closer to a wide receiver 1. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1. So, personally, I don't want to be in the Alec Pierce sweepstakes. As a New York Giant football fan, we'll put that one aside. We'll go chase our center, Linderbaum, over there. We don't need Alex Pierce clogging up the drain here with tons and tons of money. I think he's a nice player. I think he's a very good player, but I'm not ready to call him a great player. And he's gonna get more than probably he's worth. But welcome to free agency, man. That's the whole idea of being out there, man, is being the one guy, that everybody wants, having that level of competition that's, people are clamoring for you. So makes a lot of sense, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure, but again, it's just if I'm Alec Pierce, I'm going somewhere new. I'm getting paid an unbelievable bag of money, and the Colts screwed this up. If they can't keep both, they screwed this up. They should have tagged Alec Pierce, but they didn't. And now we'll see what happens. Here's what I'll just throw out there, Lurch, because you said, I'm not so sure if Kyler Murray ends up in Minnesota. Let me just throw this out there in the universe. If the Colts don't get a deal done with Daniel Jones, what about this? What about the Vikings signing Daniel Jones? He's on the transition tag to a crazy offer sheet and steal him from the Colts because Daniel Jones for 5 seconds was on the Vikings, and KOC could say, "Hey, I never wanted to lose Daniel Jones. I'm going to sign him and steal him away from the Colts and leave them high and dry." They would, of course, have the right to match. I just want to throw that out in the universe. Does that happen? It sounds like he's going to get a deal done with the Colts, but just wanted to sprinkle that out there.
Yeah, no doubt. Another little breaker here, Boy Green, smaller one. Romeo Doubs not expected to sign now with the Packers, so it looks like he is going to be on the open market. We're only 3 minutes away now from the market officially being open, the negotiating window officially opening, and Romeo Doubs from an insider with the Packers, Rob Domowski, says that it's not a big surprise. Obviously, we knew he was likely going to make it to free agency, but it looks like it's about to go official that the Packers are going to walk away from Romeo Doubs. Of course, Doubs wears that extra little padded helmet on top. He wears that concussion helmet, makes him stand out a little bit. They're pretty funky. Those ones are really funky with the Packers because that crazy like mustard yellow, really kind of pops on the head on top of the helmet. It's
strange. Yes. It's a strange look. If it helps at all with concussion, I would as a former football player, I would never wear. I would be caught dead wearing that thing, and I don't care what percentage you.
I think a lot of players feel that way.
Concussions are 2% less likely. Yeah, shove it. I'm playing football here. My brain's rattling around no matter what you put around my head. Okay, I'm not going to wear that stupid thing. So until you guys can find it and make it look better, and maybe that sounds super like, hey, Paul, you're going to care aesthetically what it looks like when you're sipping your food through a straw in 30 years. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know, man. There's no way I'm wearing that. And look at this, Lurch. Look at this, Lurch. Okay. Brooklyn Cortez, NYC sports fan says, I'll be back later. I got a stupid work meeting. I'm now, adding extra adjectives to his thing. Hate to miss any portion of this show. Stupid work. You know what I mean? But unbelievable. We're here. I know. But we are here for you. So thank you for tuning in to the show. And again, 600 people in the room. Guys, like the video. That is the free way to contribute. And make sure you guys hit that bell notification, both on the Boy Green channel and the MC Show digital channel. As these big news items hits, me and Lurch are going to be cooking up YouTube shorts and having quick takes with the details you guys care about. Years, money, this person leaving, this person going, all of it. We're going to have all those details. So again, you won't regret it. Make sure you subscribe and then hit that bell notification so we'll keep you posted with all the breaking news and updates.
Yeah, if you love long snappers, a quick one coming down here about a long snapper in the NFL. Right. This guy's been in the league now. He's going in his 17th year. We don't hear much about the long snapper, so we'll give him a little love here. Morgan Cox, who is with the Titans. The Titans have announced that they are re-signing him, and he will now enter his 17th season. It is his 6th season with the Titans. So long snapper staying in the fold. That's being reported by Teron Davenport, who is connected with Titans. So
he covers the Titans for ESPN. What's funny is a couple of years ago, the Cowboys weren't doing anything in free agency. One of the moves they made was like extending their long snapper or something, and Cowboys fans were like, yeah, splash, long snapper locked in. It's, I hate when that happens. And thankfully for Jet fans, right? We have this, I don't know if you've seen this meme before, Lurch, but it has this guy with a stick, and then it has whatever your favorite team's logo is, and it says, come on, just do something. And Jet fans constantly use that meme when there's inactivity in Jets free agency land. And thankfully, we've got a seismic, sexy splash right off the get-go here, which makes me feel pretty good. So I'm glad that we at least got something. And hopefully now the legal tampering period has been going on for like the last 180 seconds. So I'm paying attention to this tracker because I imagine we're going to start getting some things cooking in here in moments. The NFL legal tampering period is officially open. So I'm keeping my eye on my texts to see if I'm getting texts coming in from people telling me about things that are coming up or what. But we are here, Lurch.
Yeah, just to circle back here for a minute to the Giants. I mentioned to you earlier, the Giants apparently highly interested in Isaiah Likely. That's been in and out of the news in the last few weeks. What are your thoughts on Likely? What could he become? The Giants, by the way, locking down their tight end room. Chris Manhertz will be back, our blocking tight end. Very exciting signing that we heard about in the last 24 hours. But what about Likely? What kind of player do you think he could be? And it's interesting to me because he didn't have a massive role in Baltimore, and John Harbaugh was the coach. So for him to be jumping to the Giants, that's curious. I wonder what the dynamic was like between him and Harbaugh, because if he really is seriously considering the Giants, then that relationship must have been good. And he might think, if I come over to the Giants, this guy will make me tight end one, which he would immediately become, at least in terms of the catching end of things for the Giants, because we don't have really a good pass catching tight end at this point. I mean, I guess you could say Theo Johnson is making some hay here, but I would think that likely would be TE1 if he did sign with the Giants.
Of course. Yeah, he's a super talented, athletic flex tight end. He was buried on the depth chart since he came into the league because of Mark Andrews. And it seems like the Ravens made their decision in the middle of the season, extending Mark Andrews on a 3-year deal for $39 million. That's sort of the writing was on the wall. Isaiah wants to have a chance to be a tight end one himself. I don't blame him for that. But yeah, the risk is that he hasn't proven it statistically. So you're taking a chance. You're seeing it's a draft pick in a weird way, but a lot more expensive. You're seeing traits and saying, I've seen this. I projected to do this with us. So it is a huge risk to do it, but I would do it if I didn't have a tight end. Whoa, do we have breaking news? Okay, what do we got?
News.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
All right, Alec Pierce off the market. He is staying with the Indianapolis Colts. They have inked him to a 4-year, $116 million deal. That is per the Pat McAfee show, and Adam Schefter is reporting it as well. So there you go. 4 years, 116. Pierce and Jones, the combo. Keep it together.
Wow, there you go. Hey, $29 million per year on that math, because I definitely needed that calculator. So there you go.
Ooh, that's like a knife in the chest, man. Good luck with that.
Double check.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to double check. That's probably like top 7 in the league in wide receiver money.
We got to become a WR1 here. You're going to pay that kind of money to this guy. Wow.
Hey, here's the Jet fans. Here's the move to pay attention to. This is why it may be, Jets own the Colts first round pick next year. You may say, geez, not good news. Now that the Colts have retained Alec Pierce, watch out for a Michael Pittman Jr. trade, Lurch. I don't know if those two can coexist anymore with the cap figures. So that could be another trade, whether it's the Jets or another team. Michael Pittman Jr. trade. Keep an eye out for that one out there in the universe. But I do want to take this moment to apologize to the Colts. When they transition tag Daniel Jones, I'm like, oh boy. Now you're going to potentially let Pierce walk out through the door. I thought they could have totally screwed this whole thing up. And I just have to say, as the kids say, Mabby.
Yeah.
Sorry, Colts, it seems like you're going to get in, based on Stephen Holder's reporting, you're about to lock in Daniel Jones. At a minimum, with the transition tag, you could match any offer, but the Pierce was the harder one. So just getting him at the kiss of the legal tampering period, great job by the Colts. Massive congratulations, tip of the cap. It's a lot of money, but he was going to get that money from somebody, and it might as well be you.
Yeah, I guess so. I hope that's not a contract you regret. He needs to step up his game and be at least a 75 catch a year guy. I mean, can you grab his numbers real quick, BG? Sure, what are his numbers the last couple of years? I mean, he's shown improvement. There's no question. He has. I have them all here. And I think that part of this is they don't want to ruin this connection between Jones and a guy that he seemed to really be gravitating to, and they want to keep him in the fold. Go ahead, give me the numbers.
Yeah, so I could just go through the 4 years he's had. He's had 41 catches, 500 yards, 2 touchdowns. 30 catches, 500 yards, 2 touchdowns. 30 catches, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. And this past season, he had 47 catches for 1,000 yards, his first 1,000-yard season of his career, and 6 touchdowns. The go-go number to highlight, if I had a permanent marker and I had a telestrator and I'm going, here's the turducken. Here's what I'm circling. The last 2 years, he's averaged 21.3 yards per catch, 22.3 yards per catch. What does that mean for the advanced numbers? That just means that he is a down the field, deep threat, big play wide receiver, and you love to see that coming in. So that is big time numbers for Pierce. But again, the overall numbers aren't great. He has had fewer than 48 catches in every season of his career. He only barely got over 1,000 yards. It's 1,003 yards, and he's had solid touchdown production. But yeah, it's a big risk for the Colts, and they're risking it. And again, I think the move to be moved here is now Michael Pittman Jr. could be on the block.
Small move here going on right now with the Atlanta Falcons. They have stolen a wide receiver away from the Bears. Olamide Zaccheaus, the veteran wide receiver, is heading to Atlanta. We don't have the details on that. That's being reported by Tom Pelissero. So there is some info coming in on that. But the big, just moments ago, the big announcement, as Boy Green and I were just discussing, Alec Pierce staying in Indy. Both Daniel Jones on that tag, the transition tag, and now Alec Pierce appear to be staying in Indy for the foreseeable future. So Indy obviously believes what they had early part of this season when they look like one of the best teams in football, that they can make that stick again this year. So very, very interesting season, certainly for the Colts, who are sticking with both of these players and trying to build a foundation right there.
Which, by the way, if you're the Colts, I don't blame you for having that strategy. You were 7-1, and your only loss was because of the Jets' new wide receiver, Adonai Mitchell. So 100%, all the respect in the world for them saying run it back. Now, you got to hope it works, of course, but yeah, run it back. Like, come on, man. I don't blame you. It was going very well last year before things imploded.
There you go. Feel free to jump in the comments if you want. Right over there, you can also join, be part of our membership. You see that scrolling ticker below. We have membership now available. If you're not already a subscriber, we definitely need your support as we continue to grow our subscriber base. We just passed 700 subscribers a week or so ago, but we're on a race right now to get to 1,000. The quicker we get there, the better for everyone. So if you could click that subscribe button and you're not already a subscriber, we'd really appreciate it. You can certainly jump in the comments and make some comments here during the show as well. We'll continue to just keep churning out breaking news for you as it comes out. It is officially the legal tampering period, or as I call it, the negotiation window that broke open at noon today. So now teams scrambling because now other teams can now officially talk to their players and start negotiating with their players. So what's going to happen with some players that are on the block? I mean, to look at the Jets and the Giants, let's just take a quick peek there, Boy Green. Sure. Who do the Jets have to worry about right now that could be snagged by another team now that this window is open?
You mean their own free agents exiting stage left?
That's correct.
Yeah, again, AVT, Quincy Williams, both of those I could totally see happening, of players exiting stage left. Of ones, John Simpson is one to watch, although I haven't heard any like any noise about it, but like John Simpson's the one to watch because the Jets have to make a decision at left guard. So that's another one that's popping up into the universe of someone to watch. Who's the other one I'm missing? So the two offensive line. Oh, Nick Folk, our place kicker. He's a free agent. Yeah. He's supposed to be hot on the market. He has led the NFL in field goal conversion rate for 3 straight years. He's 41 and he isn't ready to hang him up. So let's keep an eye on Nick Folk action.
Yeah. All right. And on the Giants side of things, I mean, obviously now Jermaine Illuminor out there for people to poach or at least throw money at and rose petals at his feet. We'll see what's going on there. Looks like Daniel Bellinger is not going to be back with the Giants. It just appears from the way the Giants are posturing that they're not going to do that. As I told you, they are keeping their blocking tight end. Cordell Flott obviously is still out there. You heard that report we mentioned earlier from Jordan Renan that Flott may get offered something in the neighborhood. His estimation is $12 million a year. Are you willing to pay that to keep Cordell Flott? I've heard a lot of things that the Giants are going to try to hold on to Isaiah Hodgins. I'll double check and see if anything has happened there. Obviously, Micah McFadden is still out there. Evan Neal's, let's hope he's toast. And we know the Giants recently signed Gunnar Olszewski. The other guy that appears like he's going to be heading to greener pastures is Wan'Dale Robinson. Just looks like a bunch of teams are going to throw some money at Wan'Dale, and I don't think the Giants are going to get into the sweepstakes. We'll see how serious they are about keeping the wideout, the slot receiver.
Hey, by the way, random, just another news. Cornerback Eric Stokes is returning to the Las Vegas Raiders on a 3-year deal for $30 million, $20 million of that guaranteed. That's just coming in from ESPN Info Insider Jeremy Fowler. Newsworthy for your Giants conversation as you're looking at what is the cornerback market. So that's coming in. Here is another one just breaking in from Tom Pelissero. The New England Patriots are closing on a deal with veteran edge Draymond Jones, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens. He's jumping over to New England. So these deals are just coming in quick and nimble here, all happening. Wow.
Yeah, well, teams are already talking, and now you can officially get that offer on the table and get this thing locked and loaded. So now everybody's dangling out there that's, currently a free agent on your roster, and other teams are going to try to poach, and they're going to try to move quickly. Now, some of these things might take longer. I think I agree with you, BG. The quarterback thing might take a little more time to kind of hash out. I think this is like a very precarious game of dominoes right now with the QBs. All of a sudden, boom, this guy goes, okay, we better get busy. It's like, fantasy drafts, right? We're always like, kind of plodding along and everybody's picking their running backs and their wide receivers and, loading up, the offense. And then all of a sudden, the fourth round comes around. All of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes, and everybody's like, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. You're like, boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, the quarterbacks start coming off the board. I think we may see kind of a domino potential effect here with this small crop of QBs out there in free agency and what the maneuvers are going to be with these different teams. Are they going to wait it out? Are they going to see who else is offering and how high do you have to go? Are they going to try and get some bargain basement guys like a Kyler Murray that you could go out and get, like a Tua, who you have the other team, their former team is going to be paying all the money. They're paying all the freight. You're getting a guy basically on a trial basis, if you want to call it, for little to nothing. There'll be teams that'll be willing to do that, but it may not be first resort. It may be second or third resort for some of these teams.
Exactly. And it's all about sort of the balancing of priorities. What is one person's top target is another person's seventh target. What is to one team of high interest is to another team of low interest. So, it is. And the window's just open. So there's just this inherent pressure, heavy breathing. We need to get our guy. And there, you feel rushed to make these big time decisions. And again, people look at free agency differently. I saw Daniel Jeremiah tweeted out, on one hand, people are looking for foundational pieces. Another team is looking for final pieces. And that leads to wide variations in the marketplace.
Yeah. So again, we'll keep our eyes and ears open for you folks here. The window is officially open. It opened at noon, so we're about 14 minutes past noon right now. Free agency, essentially the legal tampering period already underway. All these contracts, Boy Green, they're not official till Wednesday of this week. Is that correct? So everything has to be reviewed, and you can't officially lock it down until Wednesday. But I rarely hear of anything that we hear is going to happen between now and Wednesday not happening come Wednesday.
Well, I would, as a Jets fan, I have a few stories to tell about
go ahead,
that.
tell a few. Do tell.
But first, I will explain the rules. Again, the legal tampering period is open right now. So all kinds of negotiations and everything can happen right now. At 4 o'clock on Wednesday, that's Wednesday, March 11th, everything becomes official. The new league year officially opens. So previously agreed to trades, the Trent McDuffie trade, the Jermaine Johnson trade, all those trades are official, and any other trade after that is official in the moment. All these signings become official. You'll see the Jets announce, hey, look, who'd they Minkah Fitzpatrick, for goodness sake. I'm already losing all these new guys they just brought in. At 4 o'clock, they will officially announce that Minkah Fitzpatrick was traded for. Things of that nature coming on Wednesday. So to your point, you're like, come on. How often does something get agreed to and then we get to the day and it doesn't happen? Well, quite often, unfortunately. One situation is Anthony Barr. Jet fans will remember that name infamously. A former dynamic do-it-all man for the Minnesota Vikings defense, did edge rush linebacker. By all accounts, he had agreed to become the next member of the Jets on a massive deal. And then the next morning, he got cold feet. But he had agreed to the deal and then backed out of the deal. And then the Jets were left holding the bag. And then he went back to the team that he was with, the Vikings. So the Jets have been Anthony Barred. It has now turned into a verb. They've been Anthony Barred before. Back in 2004, Antoine Winfield Sr., his son is now playing in the league. That's how old I feel now. But Antoine Winfield Sr., back in 2004, had agreed to terms with the Jets. And then the Vikings, it must just be a Vikings thing, sent a private jet to the right around wherever the old facility was and stole Antoine Winfield Sr. in the middle of the night and brought him back to Minnesota. So there's a few stories, Lurch. It's not the yellow line is unofficial. That can sometimes happen.
Rich Cimini just putting out a tweet, Boy Green, that the Jets are in the linebacker market. I think we already kind of knew that. But they've been linked to both Alex Anzalone and another name he's thrown on the table, Devin Bush of the Browns, is coming off a pretty good year. So clear that the Jets are looking for linebackers. Looks like both of our teams could use a couple of LBs to fill up the middle of our defenses. That's for sure. My goodness.
Yeah, and it's funny. So we're both looking at LBs, and apparently some of the same LBs.
Yes,
Alex Anzalone, again, he has spent 9 years in the NFL. 8 of his 9 years have crossed over with Aaron Glenn. That one makes a ton of sense, but he has an active market from everything I've heard. Devin Bush is a former top 10 pick in the draft. He was with Pittsburgh, and he sort of bounced around. He's really sort of turned his career around with Cleveland, so a big shout out there as well at linebackers. We appreciate that heads up on the linebacker market. Yeah, I expect the Jets to make some splashes at linebacker. We'll see if the money ends up being crazy, but boy, they need linebacker help. Devin Bush would be a good fit. Alex Anzalone would be a good fit. Devin Lloyd is higher on the higher end of the market, but that would be a fun one too. And then Demario Davis, he's 37 now, and that's old, but I love Demario Davis, and he could have a third stint with the Jets. That would be a lot of fun.
Well, we'll just draft Sonny Styles and we'll be good. I'm feeling pretty good.
There you go. Nice.
That one, if he's available there at number 5. Another quickie here on the Steelers, smaller signing. They're re-signing veteran linebacker. Speaking of linebackers, Cole Holcomb, 2 years and $5 million is the deal. That's according to Tom Pelissero. So that's the latest on the free agency wire. Let's circle back for a minute to Michael Pittman. With Pierce getting this big contract extension and obviously going to be in the fold now for several more years with the Indianapolis Colts, the thought here what about Pittman, and how high are you on Michael Pittman, and how much would you love to see him come to the Jets?
You know, it's interesting how I was talking about DJ Moore earlier, and I talked about he sort of had this 2-year dip recently. Of the most 2 recent seasons, you're like, oh, his numbers aren't as great as they have been. Same thing with Michael Pittman. You look at the last 2 years, they haven't been as good as they have been. But I would love Michael Pittman Jr. I think the Jets are looking for a complement to Garrett Wilson, and Michael Pittman Jr. could totally be that. He is the perfect opposite fit in terms of size. He could be had for relatively dirt cheap. I would imagine the draft compensation is inconsequential, relatively speaking. It'll be more than Minkah, maybe, but I'm talking like a 5th-round pick, maybe. And he's just a really talented player, and you're taking a risk, and you're sort of putting it together. By the way, real quick on the Travis Kelce, the 1-year deal they're working on has a maximum value of $15 million just coming in from the Athletic on that one. So just wanted to give that update coming in. So yeah, I just don't know if they could fit the salary. Like $29 million is a lot for Alec Pierce. So Michael Pittman's making $20+ million per year. I could imagine that causes him to shake free. Again, he's had 2 down years. That's also contributing. The money and his lack of production is contributing to why the Colts, I think, are going to choose to move on. And again, if I'm the Jets, I'm looking for it. I don't love the receivers that are available. And to be honest, it's one of those dating things, Lurch. I don't know if you were ever on the dating apps, but you know, whether it was me or you, you know, so like the wide receivers, I say I'm not interested in. The wide receivers are like, oh, that's convenient because we're not interested in you. Like Mike Evans, does he want to come play for the Jets? Come on. Alec Pierce, does he want to come play for the Jets? With all due respect, come on. So like those guys don't want us. We don't want them. And it's like more so they don't want us than we don't want them. So now the Jets have to get creative to fill the hole. They have a massive hole at wide receiver, but the names in free agency don't really fit what the Jets are looking for at this current point. Michael Pittman would be a trade. There would be no dating necessary. It's like my parents, arranged this marriage. Sweet. I'm just getting Michael Pittman. So I think that's sort of where it's at here. Again, there are some concerns with him slowing down and the last 2 years of production, but I still think he has gas in the tank.
Yeah, New England also missed this one a couple minutes ago. Boy Green, Ian Rappaport reporting that New England is signing Draymond Jones to a 3-year, nearly $40 million, reported at 39.5. He gets 14.5 in his first year there with New England. So New England shoring up a little bit there with a veteran edge rusher in Draymond Jones.
Hey, just a funny thing, because I'm on social media. So there are these like, I don't even know what to call these sites, Lurch. Robots that like will tweet out random information and they go viral.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. They tweet out information. There are these websites that project what players are worth contractually, right? There's all these websites that do it. And anywho, so one of those bots tweeted out what Draymond Jones, they believed he could get. 4-year deal for $60 million is what this robot tweeted out last night. And Draymond Jones saw that tweet and he responded to it. And he said, man, this is a lot higher than I'm hearing. Great news. Like he was just, he just made a joke with it and it was hilarious. Yeah. And now he obviously got a lot less than that, but it's just funny. Like we're in this society, Lurch, where we have access to all of these athletes that you could tweet at, interact with, and that's good and bad, as we've all unfortunately have gotten to know over the last 10, 15 years, but like it's super cool. So I just saw, I don't follow Draymond Jones, so it must have just been going viral. So if something goes viral, it will forcefully pop up on your feed, and it just made me chuckle. That's funny. So good for Draymond. He got good money though.
Well, make part of your daily ritual that you send a negative tweet in the direction of Kevin Durant, and while you may not realize that it's him responding, it probably is. See,
Mr. Burner account,
Mr. Burner account there. But yeah, there's no doubt in today's world we have access more directly. The fan has more access directly to the athlete than we ever had. A lot of these guys love social and they pay attention to it, and they're reading stuff. Sometimes you tickle them in a right spot and they will actually respond to it. You'd be like, whoa, did that guy just respond to me? Holy crap.
Yeah, so, it's pretty cool.
There's some pretty cool stuff there. Kenneth Walker news. Drop the hammer, Boy Green.
Okay, wait, let me get over to it. Here
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
The rumors were true. It's not the Giants, Boy Green. It's the Chiefs who desperately need a running back, and they are going to sign Kenneth Walker. We don't have all the details. This is coming in from Tom Pelissero, but Kenneth Walker headed to the Chiefs. They got themselves a starting running back. There you go.
Wow.
Oh, baby.
Well, this, of course, kills any tag and trade talks that would have existed with Breece Hall. The Chiefs were in on Breece Hall, and now they're not. This is going to be monster money, I imagine. This also obviously eliminates Jeremiah Love to the Kansas City Chiefs with the 9th overall pick. To be honest, I didn't think he was going to make it there anymore, but now this removes them because this is going to be crazy, funny money that's going to be there on that contract. So, wow. I can't wait to see the money on it.
Oh, man. Getting busy here early in free agency, folks. We are, 24 minutes afternoon, the legal tampering period underway, and we're getting busy, and we are seeing some big names dropping now. Alex Pierce, in case you missed it, staying with the Colts, and now we find that the Kenneth Walker, the MVP of the Super Bowl, is MVP and somewhere else. He's going to go play for the Kansas City Chiefs. We know the problems they've had, the injuries to Isaiah Pacheco, their inability to get their running game going, so important to Patrick Mahomes, taking a little pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. So they feel they've gone out and done something now that will take some of that pressure off and make life a little easier for Mahomes. So Kenneth Walker, the Super Bowl MVP, headed to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow. I love this.
I'm okay with that, Boy Green. I'm okay with that.
Well, I heard Gary Myers, we had him on the show a couple weeks ago. He said any of this, and he called it, I guess it's the internet, I could say whatever, said any of this bullshit tying the Giants to Kenneth Walker is all nonsense. I don't know where it's coming from. I checked with my Giants people. He said it's all fugazi. And then there's more people since he said that just saying, oh no, Giants Kenneth Walker. And who knows if it's really true. Like, for instance, the Trent McDuffie stuff, the Giants finished second to the Rams and the Trent McDuffie. That seems crazy. That doesn't seem right. But I mean, these insiders get paid a lot of money to be in the know. I don't know. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So, okay, that's, again, a very, very interesting one, but one that clearly, is a need for Kansas City. And as you said, I mean, Love's performance at the Combine, it just feels like if the Chiefs really wanted him to be their RB1, that they would have to trade up in the draft. And so maybe the Chiefs don't want to give up assets to trade up in the draft and try to get a running back. And then, of course, we all know about that idea of, do you take a running back near the top of any draft? Is it worth it from a positional standpoint? I still stand behind that it is. If the guy's good, you're going to get your money's worth out of the guy. But a lot of people, a lot of experts out there, a lot of talking heads out there don't think that you should ever use that kind of draft capital for a running back, considering, again, what you can get later. It's the same argument. I'll go back to fantasy football here for a minute, because so many people, I'm sure, in our audience play fantasy football. It's why so many people believe you never take a quarterback early, even if it is, a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes or whoever your favorite quarterback is. You don't, because you're not taking that much of a step down, and you can get a guy in the 6th round, the 7th round, the 8th round, the 9th round, even the 10th round and beyond, and still get a guy that's fairly commensurate with that guy that was picked way up there. So the value chart just doesn't work. And that's the theory out there about the running back. So maybe the Saints are going to take him anyway at 8. He might not even last that long, though. We'll see. The Giants are out of the Walker sweepstakes. Maybe we're back in the love sweepstakes. I love to get me some love.
By the way, Kenneth Walker confirmed it on his Twitter. He tweeted out Chiefs Kingdom with a jersey swap of him in a Chiefs uniform. So if there were any doubt whether or not that was official, it's official. We're still waiting on the money, though. The money has not come out.
Do you think the Chiefs are back this year, though? I mean, let's just take a moment to talk about that for a sec. Are the Chiefs just going to bounce back? I understand it fell off a cliff because Mahomes got hurt, and then that kind of caused it.
Although they were pretty screwed.
They were ready. They were ready squirrely before then, And as we heard earlier, Kelsey's coming back for another season. He really didn't look all that great last season. I don't know, man. This team is aging.
I don't think he's going to be ready for week 1. That's my thing. And again, doubting, the greatest of all time and all these legends like Patrick Mahomes, which sounds crazy to say in his current age, but he's going to the Hall of Fame one day. It's crazy to doubt those kind of people because they will make me look like an idiot very quickly. But when he got injured and how he could come back, I don't know, the modern advancements in technology can only do so much. I would imagine he's not ready week 1. So the Chiefs are going to need, if what I just said is believed to be true, they're going to need a quality quarterback to sort of oversee the operation until it happens. So to me, I still think there is more. There's another quarterback move they got to make that can hold down the fort. And then when Mahomes hopefully is healthy and ready, he can take off from there. So no, I don't think they're going to be instantly back, but Travis Kelce probably making one more run. You can't doubt the Chiefs.
Jordan Ronan, by the way, Giants insider, is reporting that the Giants did make an offer on Walker, that they were trying to get him, and they did not. So this is now 2 situations here in the very early goings of John Harbaugh's career as, overlord of all things Giants, that it sounds like they came in second place again here on an offer. I was reading some stuff after that Trent McDuffie deal went down, and then we found out that the Giants were in it and, were the other team that was being considered and didn't get him. And there was a lot of sarcasm and a lot of kind of negativity coming out of the Baltimore area that this has been a trademark for Harbaugh, that he is second on a lot of things, particularly when it comes to personnel moves, and that, you better get used to it up there in New York. Being close but no cigar is part of, according to some of these theorists, John Harbaugh's MO. So if all you Giant fans think he's just moving to the top of the pack, you better look out. You're going to have a lot of near misses, because that's what happened apparently quite a bit down there in Baltimore. So I don't know if I buy it all, but nonetheless, 0 for 2 here for Johnny Boy, although I'm not crying a river about this one. I think the Giants have other options and other pivots that they can make here at the running back position. So I'm okay with Walker landing with the Chiefs.
Dang it. Can you remind me, Lurch? I always forget. What do you get when you finish second place in a free agency pursuit?
Nothing is what you get.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Nothing.
As a Jets fan, we finished second a lot of times, and Jet fans get annoyed because what's the reporting? We were right there, but it just didn't happen, for all that. So.
Yeah, trying to see if there's anything out right now on the Walker money. Nothing that I'm seeing yet that's anything close to official. So we'll keep our eye out, because we know that Walker is going to Kansas City. At this point, we don't know the numbers. I mean, I got to imagine it's somewhere between 13 and 15, if I had to guess.
That's probably what I would say.
Probably what I think the going rate would be for
at least 12. At least 12.
Yes, I think at least 12. I think you're right. And could be a little higher than that. Again, free agency has a way of doing that, especially if there is competition. If indeed the Giants and maybe even another team were in a bidding war here to try to get Walker along with the Chiefs, and they got him, they probably upped their number a little bit to make sure that they got him.
Yeah. Wow. So he's a Chief. Hey, I can't blame him for picking Mahomes over Jackson Dart, with all due respect. So interesting.
Yeah, that works. That works pretty good.
Hey, Lurch. All right. Wow. What a show, man. This has been a lot of fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, look, this news is not going to stop throughout the day. As you heard Boy Green say earlier, we will stay on the case. We'll try to get some short form out to you as soon as we possibly can. Cade Otton, another breaking one here from Adam Schefter, returning to Tampa Bay, the tight end. So there's another quickie here on the way out. But we will keep this stuff coming, especially when it comes to Jets, Giants, and Bills. Anything big happens with those three teams or any of the big name players. I mean, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the Max Crosby trade a couple of days ago.
I know, yeah.
Wow, that was. I mean, it sounded like he was going
to
get
old
out.
News now.
But it is. It's like, oh, when did that happen? Like last week. But that's, that was wow. I mean, how about the Ravens and Jesse Minter? I mean, getting busy right out of the chute. Who cares about the Harbaugh area down there in Baltimore? They went out and got themselves a superstar. Now they gave up 2 first-rounders. So we'll see how this all plays out. But he's a bona fide superstar in the league. I think he could even thrive a lot more there than he was in Las Vegas, where so much attention was being put on him on every single play. Now he's got a really, really stout defense around him that if they keep doubling him, other guys are going to hurt other teams' offenses. So that was a fascinating deal as well. But anyway, we'll stay on top of it. Again, there you see our link to our YouTube channel at MC Show Digital. If you're not already a subscriber, please click the subscribe button right now. Also, make sure you hit the notifications button so that when we are putting out content, you know that it's coming your way. Membership available for those that are already subscribers, and you see that in the scrolling ticker below. And today was the official opening of our store. We now have a merch store. You can buy a coffee mug like this one I've been holding all show long here. 12th MC, our VIP club on one side, the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital on the others. They're 2-tone mugs. You can get them in any color. They have some really cool, fun colors. So you can get one for a friend or you can get one for yourself. We have a t-shirt available. We have that hat that Boy Green is wearing right there with the 12th MC patch on it. Fantastic looking hat. That is a flex fit because Boy Green only wears flex fits for the most part.
That is true.
So in his honor, I said, all right, we'll go flex fit on the caps. And they are really, really nice. And there are some other cool items. I think we have 6 items we have opened the store with. So go check it out. And if it's something that's your fancy, the logos are pretty cool. I hope that you'll partake there and help support our channel and get the word out that we do indeed exist in this space called YouTube, because we've only been here a little over 7 months, but it has been a fun ride, and we are continuing to build up our brand and to build up our subscribers, and we hope that you find what we're putting out there worthwhile and want to subscribe to our channel. All right, Boy Green, final thoughts if you have any. I'll take one more peek while you're giving your final thoughts, see if anything else is breaking.
Yeah, please do. Again, for the Jet fans that are in the room from the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade from earlier, again, I love the move. It's a low-risk, high-reward kind of situation. You gave up a 7th-round draft choice for Pete's sake for a guy that I think is a safety that has not performed, crazily well from a takeaway perspective the last couple of years. So you're getting him at an insane discount. He's a massive upgrade in the room, still only 29 years of age, and brings leadership and upgrade. And I don't think the Jets are done yet. I think there's plenty of moves left to come, and we will see it, I'm sure, throughout the day today and the coming days. So Minkah Fitzpatrick, exciting start for New York Jet fans out there, and I'm sure splash are coming for the New York Giants.
And yeah, for the Giants, nothing on the board yet. It's just a big I'm looking at a big blank slate on my wall right there. All right, but we'll be keeping our eye out on it, and let's see if the Giants do seriously get involved in the Tyler Linderbaum sweepstakes. Are they going to be in or out on that one? We should have some news for that here in the next 24 hours. Everybody, thanks so much for plugging in. Again, keep an eye on our channel, subscribe, hit the notifications so that you know what's going on, and we will continue to put out short-form videos throughout the day. We'll be back live again with you on Wednesday. We'll have Matt Lombardo, our NFL insider, to break down all of the moves that have been made at that point. Wednesday, as you know, is the official signing day at 4 o'clock, so we'll have lots of stuff to talk about with Matt on Wednesday. Until then, we'll see you folks. Take care. Peace out.